Majority of you self-sabotage. Majority of you have not tapped into the power of the mind. This is an age-old principle. This is something athletes understand. They would sit down, they would visualize yourself becoming the champion. Perhaps they do not, but with the advent of TikTok and all these social platforms constantly throwing dopamine and stimulating your mind, majority of people do not know how to focus on the task. Majority of you cannot sit, close your eyes, and engage viscerally to live the life you want to live. You can't taste it. You can't sit to a point where you can taste it in your mouth, where you can feel it, where you can give yourself goosebumps. You have lost that skill. So instead, you have engaged in this idea of self-sabotaging. What is self-sabotaging? Majority of you do not understand this concept, that you have a lot of enemies outside of you, and the only thing you have on your side is actually your mind. And if your mind is betraying you, you have to sit, self-analyze, and get your mind back on your thing. Your mind, anytime you procrastinate, anytime you're lazy, anytime you don't do the things that you're supposed to do, you're self-sabotaging. I remember this time when I would get up, do a little bit of work, perhaps 2 to 3 hours, and I call it a day. I sleep the day out. I do chores that are not necessary. The stupidest of tasks become alluring. It could be something as simple as washing that dish you never use, going to the grocery store when you can delegate that task to someone else. I didn't know I was self-sabotaging my own success, but all of these activities, and at the end of the day, I would only have 2 to 3 hours of productive work. Actually, I would wonder, why am I not getting the pertinent result? I'm doing all I can. I would blame things, I would blame external things, till I came to the point where I reviewed my day objectively. I said, okay, what have I been spending my day with? How do I spend my waking hours? And I discovered that I wasted every single thing, and I was wondering why I'm not getting the pertinent result. That is self-sabotaging. Subconsciously, majority of you sabotage your own success. Majority of you do not understand that the only person that is your enemy is not your friend, is not your brother, is not your father. It is you. Your mind is betraying you. You have to get your mind as an ally. Every single part of me is on my side. Even my mind is on my side. I refuse to sit and let my mind betray me, my own mind. If I was to jump off this cliff and believe that I would not die, I would not die. I believe it is more advantageous for me to sit and say, I will jump off this cliff and I would survive. It is better to think that way than to err in the opposite direction. So actually start putting effort and believe that you are the best. This is something age-old charlatans understood. It's not necessarily in the rules they've so artfully created, but they are overcome by their self-belief that they can actually pull this off. It is that enthusiasm that becomes contagious on the other person. Count Victor Lustig, an age-old charlatan, or con man, as they would like to refer themselves as. He would assume the trappings of wealth, and the other person who is less confident, who needs social validation, would beg to be in the rules. So he was overcome by his self-belief that he's not a peasant, he's not trying to scam me, but he is royalty. Have you met certain people in your life that within 2 minutes of interaction, you know this person is poor? He doesn't have to show his bank balance. He doesn't have to show you anything. He could be wearing Dior, yet 3 minutes into a conversation, you know that this person is poor. The way they carry themselves, the way they grovel, the way they shuffle their head and apologize for every single request. So, err in the opposite direction. Force to go in the opposite direction. You were not born this way. Think back, or it might be difficult for you to think back. But look at children. When was the last time you heard please from a child? It's always give me that, give me this. And adults enjoy granting the requests and wishes of children because it gives us this godlike persona to be able to make wish come true. It's the same thing with your superiors, your boss. When you walk into that office with rage in your eyes and say, I want a raise. Why do you want a raise? Because I'm me. Okay. Signs it. Of course, that's a very hypothetical situation. I do not recommend you try it. If you try it, you might lose your job. You have to be of some value and have the confidence to portray that value. So, my friends, so I always knew that the solution to every single thing is raw action. I want you to constantly and endlessly attack the universe. Spend all your waking hours working. It's easy to take an L when you put in all the effort. It's easy to say, okay, I did my best. Majority of you do not try your best. When was the last time you actually gave it your all? What does that look like? Spend time to define these things. So, even though it doesn't work, you know you gave your everything to this craft. And majority of you, this is something you guys can no longer do. You do not try your best. You do what you feel is enough, not what is required. That's why you do not get the results you desire. Some of you say, I want X job. You put in perhaps you are unemployed. You say, I want X job. You put in 2 to 3 hours of work. You sleep the rest of the day. I wonder why the result or why this job is not forthcoming. If you actually believe that this job was for you, if you actually believe that you were going to get this, you would, after the 2 to 3 hours of work, you would delve into self-development, you would delve into materials. I saw a preacher, or there's this story of some congregants coming to pray to God for rain. The preacher walks in and asks him, my friend, what are you doing here? He said, I came to pray for rain. If you came to pray for rain and you actually believe your prayers will be answered, where's your umbrella? Exactly. Majority of you wish for something and you do not have an umbrella. Majority of you pray for rain without an umbrella. You say you want to be a successful CEO, but you're waiting for it to happen before you pick up a book about leadership, before you start devising that business plan. You're waiting for funding before you start writing things down, which it doesn't work. If you're praying for rain, you must carry an umbrella. Then the heavens will look down upon you and say, oh, he's walking with an umbrella. Perhaps he needs some rain. God wants to see you try. When you're trying, that's when most people will help. There's this story of a man who wanted to clear 5 acres of land. He began soliciting for help with amongst his friends. He began requesting for machinery. He began soliciting the whole town to come help him. Everyone would give excuse. I just got married. I need to do this. I need to do that. One day, he took responsibility, began clearing the land by himself. 2 days later, everyone saw him working and they were eager to help. The same thing with the YouTube channel. You start a YouTube channel It's not working. You don't know how to do your thumbnails right. Your captions are not as good as you want them to be. But as you begin to make it work, you now get thousands of emails say, hey bro, I can do your thumbnails, I can help you manage this, I can help you manage that. But when they come to help, you pretty much got it. I'm not recommending you turn down any ability to make your work easier. In fact, that is how the great CEOs live. They understand the power of delegation and how to vicariously exist through others. Endlessly put effort into the universe. I want you to know. Pick up your umbrella. Walk through the earth with your umbrella. Walk through the earth with your umbrella. And you'll be fine. As always, my friends, it's a pleasure speaking to you. I'll see you in the next one.